Yo, what is going on, you wacky Wobbuffets? Today, we're taking a look at the list that I used to personally get top 4 and that Daniel Altavilla used to win Knoxville Regionals over the weekend. This is my list. I made 2 changes to from Atlantic City. I decided to cut a Pokégear for an Acro Bike because it doesn't increase the chances of finding a turn 1 Welder, turn 2 Welder that much to play a 4th Pokégear. And towards the end of the games, I was just finding that I would have like 2 or 3 Pokégear in my deck that were just dead because I was out of Welder or didn't need Welder anymore. So I decided to run with it was kind of like a last minute, well, now that I think about it, Pokégear is really not that good towards the end of the game. Let's just play 4 Acro Bike. Leading up to the event, I'd been playing 4 Acro Bike in the deck already. Just over Wobbuffet without Marshadow in here, and I was like, I really like 4 Acro Bike. It makes the deck a lot smoother, a lot more aggressive overall. So I was really liking 4 Acro Bike for sure, but I was just like, where can I find the cut? And then when I was thinking about it, morning of the tournament, I was like, or night before the tournament, I was like, Pokégears are dead a lot at the end of the game, and I don't feel like, and I do feel like I generally have overkill on Pokégears early in the game, so I don't think they actually helped me find Welder that much early on. Let's cut a Pokégear for an Acro Bike. And then I cut the Wobbuffet from my Atlantic City list. For the Marshadow, I expected more Power Plant overall and more Pidgey for sure that has Power Plant. So at least in that, for the very least, helped a ton in that matchup. And I did play against 7 Pidgey decks over the course of the tournament, going 5-0-2 against them. So it definitely helped out a ton. So super glad I added the Marshadow. I was thinking about adding actually a second Marshadow. Kind of glad I didn't. I think it would have been a little bit overkill. Wouldn't have been very tested. It would have just been like kind of a last minute. I kind of want another card to help deal with Pidgey. So yeah, glad I just stuck with the 1 Marshadow. 4th Acro Bike was great. And yeah, I don't have too much more to say on the list. Like I said, I only changed 2 cards for my Atlantic City build, where I did end up winning that tournament. Ended up top 4 here. Had some rough draws and prizing in my top 4 matchup. But, you know, can't draw well in every game. If I lost to anyone, happy to have lost to John. And then happy for Dan to have won in the finals as well with the list, so that was cool to see as well. But yeah, Mewtwo still on top. Let's go ahead and let's play a couple games. All right, getting into one here. Man, I got no idea. Okay, we're up against some kind of fossil build, and our opening hand is not very good. Hopefully it gets a little bit better from here. But yeah, some kind of fossil deck. We saw Caracosta. There's an Archeops. Some kind of fossil deck, that's for sure. There's a Ditto, probably Aerodactyl. GX is in here. There's a Buzzwole, so they play Fighting Energy, so I would assume Aerodactyl GX. There's a Recycle Energy. There's a Dedenne Change. Still no idea for sure. We'll see here in a bit. You have to be careful about the Aerodactyl GX because it does do 50 damage for each energy on my field or on my active. So if I put too much energy on my Mewtwo, I can definitely one-shot it. Not a whole ton coming off their Dedenne, but I do have a Cynthia to follow it up. There is the Pokemon Research Lab, so we should see exactly what's going on here this turn. 2 Archon. Let me read the Archeops. Discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. All right. Acro first. I mean, neither of these really matter. We're going to grab this. I will attach active so I can retreat it, and then potentially we'll be able to use Turbo Strike this turn for the 120 on the Buzzwole. And it looks like we are going to be able to do that. So like this, I'm going to Hearth away the Jirachi. 2 fires. Wow, we prized, there was 3 in there, 4, 5. We prized 3 fire energy. That's not good. Get ourselves a Mewtwo. Oh, we're now Welder to the Mewtwo. Hopefully find another Mewtwo to actually put this energy on. There we go. That'll get us a Mewtwo. You'd even get rid of the fire, but then we don't have anything to Welder with next turn, so I don't think we want to do that. I'm going to go with an Acro Bike first here. There's a Dedenne. We definitely want that. And then I think I'm just going to treasure away the other Acro Bike instead. But yeah, we want the fire in hand so we can Welder the fire onto the other Mewtwo. It's going to be an interesting game because we have such a lack of energy in the deck in this one. Not in like the worst spot ever, but it'll be interesting. Turbo Strike for 120. Oh, it does get the knockout. For some reason I was thinking it wouldn't get the knockout, but Buzzwole is weak to Psychic, so that is a knockout. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. So the Archeops does say discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. but then we could just Welder to the Mewtwo again and then Turbo Strike the energy that got discarded onto the bench guy. So I'm not too worried about losing energy. Here come the Archeops. They only hit for 80 as well, so it's like they're 3-shotting our Mewtwo's. I forget what the Caracasa does. I know it shuts down tool cards in play, but I forget what else it does. I think it does do something else. We could also try and just Flamethrower, knock this thing out, which we actually might just go for that instead, actually. Because I do have a Fire Index, so if I Welder these two here, then I could attach and Flamethrower knockout. So I think I'm going to go for that. It depends what our opponent does. It looks like they might be eyeing up second Jirachi here. Nope. Is going to be the Hyper Beam, discarding energy. Like I said, that's fine, though, I think. I don't think I'm worried. I think I'm just going to Flamethrower, knock this thing out. I don't have anything set up to really deal with the Mewtwo on their turn, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll see, though. Yeah, there's the Hyper Beam. Discard 1 energy. Draw. Welder. I don't want to use the Switch if I don't have to. I could definitely sit on this hand after the Welder. And we can just go attach. What's the cost on Flamethrower? Yeah. Go attach. And Flamethrower? Knockout. Still doing fine. I'm not sure what this guy does. I'm a little bit scared of him now because I don't know what he does. I completely forget what Caracasa does. But we got another energy in hand. That's great. Gonna be able to weld. If he can somehow knock this guy out, we still have this. We have this guy ready to go through this Welder arc. There he is. Each star in the retreat cost. Each energy cost in the retreat cost. So he's hitting for 120. Not a whole ton of damage, so nothing to really worry about here. I think this one's pretty much locked up. We'll see. There is a Lieutenant Surge turn coming up here, though. So those are always dangerous. We'll see if our opponent has anything else special going on here. There's a Volkner. Do they play Lightning Energy? What item would they actually even grab as well? Now I'm really curious as to what's going on here. Communication, and they do play Lightning Energy. All right, interesting. What? So maybe it's just to grab the Lightning Energy, and then they just play Volkner to get specific item cards. Like the Stadium Nav would be an important one, I guess, to get their stadium, to get their dudes into play. That's kind of cool, I guess. And then they get to get an energy with it as well, which isn't terrible, but I'm not a huge fan of it. There's the Archeops. There's an see, that's the dangerous thing. That unidentified fossil is dangerous. We don't know what it's going to become. There's another Hyper Beam. 60 more damage. Going to discard one of our energies. We have to get more energy on this thing to be able to attack with it this turn. I'm just gonna Welder 1 to the active, I think. And we're just gonna Flamethrower again. Attach to the bench. I will bench this guy as well. And then, yeah. Flamethrower for the knockout. I'm still kind of scared as to what's gonna come out of this unidentified fossil. We'll figure out here in just a bit, though. Another fire off the prizes is pretty good. So, even though it looked a little bit scary in the beginning with 3 fires prized, or do we have 4 fires prized? We had 3 fires prized. Got 2 of the 3 out of the prizes so far, so we're doing fine now. Actually, 6, 7, 8. We got all 3 out of the prizes. Sheesh. So our first 3 prizes were fire energy. I wasn't even noticing. I thought one of them was not a fire energy, but I guess first 3 prize cards were fire energy. That's fine with me. We'll take those 3 fire energy. That's what we were lacking. So yeah, and this is what I was meaning in my intro when I was like talking about the Pokégear versus the Acro Bike. We're 3 Welder deep. We have 2 Pokégears left. Sometimes you you don't always draw this way, but if you had drawn the Pokégears instead, the Pokégears would probably hit Welders because we don't have a ton of cards left in our deck. It's just kind of the way that after playing so much of the deck, feeling out how it kind of actually functions when you play it, the 4th Acro Bike just felt super unnecessary, and the 4th Pokégear felt super unnecessary. So I was like, well, Acro Bike's always a good card. I've never been like, I wish I never had Acro Bike in this hand. Acro Bike's always good. So that is why I opted for 4th Acro Bike over 4th Pokégear, just for so a card that can always do something. Pokégear doesn't always hit the Welder. Acro Bike always looks at the top 2 cards and gives us a card, discards a card every time. It does that. So it always does something. Pokégear does not always do something, so that's why, like I said, opted for it in that way. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna end this one, what our current game plan is. It really depends on if our opponent even knocks this thing out, because it's very possible they just don't KO this, and then we're gonna take a knockout and then probably snipe this Dedenne or double custom it, because we have only used 1 custom catcher. So us finding our double customs, once we don't like top deck one here, is pretty reasonable. So that's our game plan. Snipe the Dedenne with Naganadel, or just go with the double custom knock it out. If they do play like a Mew or something and then get it onto the bench. There's another Volkner, second Volkner there from our opponent. Let's see if they play 2 Lightning Energy. Now I'm curious if they play 2 Lightning Energies. Just the 1 Lightning Energy? Do they play the second Lightning Energy? There's the Karate Belt. Okay, that's why they play Volkner, right? To find the Karate Belts. That has to be why. Can't imagine you'd really want Volkner for anything else in this deck. There's the Karate Belt to the Caracosta, and then he's gonna come up and knock out our Mewtwo. There's that Lightning Energy, getting some value right there. So our Mewtwo is gonna be knocked out. We'll probably respond with the Flare Blitz GX on the Caracosta, and then we'll look to KO the Dedenne through Naganadel on the following turn, as long as it's in the deck. If not, we'll look to double custom this guy up and knock him out. There's the Archon. But yeah, I think we have this one pretty much locked up. We can even reset stamp our opponent this turn to kill whatever kind of hand they got going on. And yeah, feeling pretty good about this one. Go Latios. I guess they could still play Power Plant, so maybe I maybe do want to dig this turn. Let's go with Hearth. Is Hearth away a Switch? Last Dedenne's here. I kind of do want to dig this turn, I think. Try and thin out the deck as much as possible, because I can't use 2 Dedennes next turn, but I can use 1 Dedenne. And we'll see what this does first. Take the Mind Report. Not going to use him. Reset Stamp. Attach. And then did they change? Just kind of wanting to thin out the deck. Getting the, like I said, getting the what's it called here could be cool. That's not it. But that's fine, I think. Treat. I think I do want to Flare Blitz, or do I just want to snipe the Dedenne this turn? I'm just gonna Flare Blitz. I'm gonna KO this thing with Flare Blitz. That's fine. I think I'm fine to do this. Yeah, we have a good chance to find the what's it called next turn. I'm not worried about finding the knockout next turn. We currently have it in hand, so they would have to disrupt our hand. We saw Naganadel in the deck. We have Cherish Ball and Hearth, so even if they replace our Stadium, so they do have to reset stamp us this turn. It's possible that Coco leads to something though. Now I'm a little scared again. I have no idea what this Coco could possibly lead to. It's possible if they knock us out this turn, they win the game. But I would like to see it happen, because I have no idea how it could possibly happen. But if it does happen, yeah, I would be interested to see how it goes down. We'll see. It's a Fighting Energy to the Unidentified Fossil. Custom for 1. Double. So they do play Custom Catcher, but double Custom Catcher wouldn't win them the game. There's nothing on our bench worth 3 prize cards that they get. There's no other way to draw 3 prize cards this turn, or more, besides knocking out them. Unless they could like knock out double Dedenne, but I don't think that's possible as well. Oh, you know what it could be? No, could be. Ooh, no, but Rampardos takes 3 fighting, I think. So can't lose to Rampardos here with the whatever attack it is that just like knocks out a basic Pokemon. There's another Volkner from our opponent, so they really like the Volkners in this deck. There's the Dance of the Ancients. Does it lead anywhere though? They could GX attack us with the Dedenne. That's actually, and we are at a Switch, so that's scary. I didn't really think about that, but I didn't expect the Coco Prism. So yeah, I didn't expect the Coco Prism. So they could GX attack with the Dedenne. Looks like it's not gonna happen. Almost got punished there. Yeah, didn't expect the Coco Prism, so I didn't really like think about it. I thought about it for a second, but I was like, I don't think they play Thunder Mountain or anything, so I'm not like worried about it. But yeah, here we go. Hearth away, then Naganadel, and there's a concession from our opponent. Take an pretty easy dub. Wasn't sure what to expect the whole time, but a pretty reasonable dub over this fossil box from our opponent. All right, getting into another one. We're up against everyone's favorite Pidgey Control. We'll see if we can't deal with this Pidgey in a timely fashion here. We have a pretty good hand to deal with the Pidgey Control here. We'll see if we can't pull it off though. We do have a pretty clean start the turn 1 Elms with the Oranguru. We have a pretty good start too, as long as this Pokégear hits a Welder. If it doesn't, we are in a little bit of trouble, but I'm not too worried about it. There's Solgaleo, grab 2 fires. Could have checked the deck a little bit more, I guess, but I'm trying to beat this Pidgey ASAP, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. Welder, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and just Turbo Strike. No need to do anything else. Just chill on the rest of the hand. Yeah, no need to do anything else. We'll probably try and get more aggressive on the next turn. We have the recycle system and another Hearth in hand, so we want to try and utilize those for sure. I guess I could have treasured away the Mewtwo to get the Marshadow, because he could have an early stamp plant as a response to what I just did, so that would be annoying to deal with, but it's fine. I think we'll be fine. There goes a custom. Super important to keep track of that, what they have access to. They're now unlikely to get double customed anytime soon, losing a custom like that. There's a Mars. What are they going to hit? The reset stamp. Would have preferred to have kept it around, but really actually not that big of a deal to lose it. Yeah. Would be nice, but not complaining too much here. It's all right to lose that one for sure. Not too big of a dealio on that one. And we'll see what our opponent has past this. There's the Articuno already. Are they going to actually get aggressive? They're going to Cold Crush already. A super aggressive Cold Crush. I'm not sure about this. This sets up our opponent for disaster, in my opinion. That is fine with me, though. Gonna Hearth away this guy. Get 2 more fire. Deoxys is in here. So is the boy Marshadow. Gonna go ahead and Welder to our active here. 1, 2, 3. Gonna treasure away this thing, grab that Marshadow, and then I will treasure away the Acro Bike to grab the Deoxys. And that is what we're going to be Turbo Striking to, and I'm actually going to attach the Psychic to the active here, and then Turbo Strike 120 to this Articuno. Get the energy onto the Espeon Deoxys, and we're in a pretty good spot. I'm feeling pretty good about this one now. We'll see what our opponent has going on the next turn, but they're going to need a lot to come back in this one. That is for sure. We're definitely really far ahead at this point, and yeah, it's going to take quite the sequencing of turns from our opponent to make the comeback. Definitely doable on our opponent's side, but definitely tough. Yeah, it's going to take quite the sequence of cards from our opponent to actually pull this one back in their favor. Could almost, I don't know, we have a lot of ways we can go back. We could trap the Articuno. We could just leave it here. We could knock it out and then go down to 3 prizes and then look for the GX attack, the cross division, clean up the Pidgeys. I think that's what I want to do. We'll see what I actually go with, though. It depends what we draw. Depends if I want to use Welder or not. We could also try and hit this for... that wouldn't really work. We could try and hit it for 40 with Psychic Club, but then we'd have to burn the Marshadow, which we don't want to do. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, I think we're just going to Turbo Strike this thing here. That's a good top deck. Giant Hearth. Yes, yeah, and we have hands like this in this matchup. You just kind of hold on to them. Get those 2. Welder to the active again. We're not going to GX attack if we do get it. I think we're just going to take these 2 prizes here and then go from there. Yeah, so I think it's just going to be Turbo Strike again, and then next turn, look for the knockout on the 3 birds on the bench. Don't get any energy this time, but that's fine. Get 2 prizes, go down to 3, and we'll see if our opponent has the Wombo combo. They could have, the ultimate combo they could have would be double custom up Marshadow, Power Plant, Lieutenant Surge, Reset Stamp, Mars, Jesse James. Put us to a 0-card hand, and then Chip Ice Axe. But there's the Surge into the Hot Boost, so they're not going to be able to completely lock our hand out on their next turn for sure. Might be able to get close. Nah, I think we're chilling. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. In a really good spot here. The early Articuno. There goes second Mars into the discard pile, if I saw that correctly, and a Crushing Hammer, I believe. So not in a ridiculously good spot. Our opponent is, yeah, feeling pretty good. Oh, there's the double custom. All right, so they're getting part of it. The double custom up the Marshadow. That is part of the combo they need to slow us down this turn. But now they need to get the double custom back, put them in the deck, because we can still get a switch, or we could Welder again and Welder retreat attach. But we do have 2 switch left, I believe. Oh, I don't actually know how many switch were prized. I'm hoping there's 2 switch left. We'll find out shortly. So our opponent is definitely digging for Crushing Hammers at this point. They need to get the energy off this Mewtwo. That's going to be their goal right now. But they have a lot of stuff, and this is the point that can happen in the matchup. I mean, I think they were a little bit greedy with the Cold Crush early, but they have to like try and recover a bunch of stuff to be able to pull off a lock anytime soon. Yeah, they just need a lot of stuff to recover to pull off a lock. So that's gonna be pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be pretty tough for them. Let's see if they can do it. They might be able to do it. Oh, they haven't airmailed yet. Okay, they've actually thinned out their deck quite a bit with that Hapu play and the Hapu into Titanizer. So actually, ooh, this could get pretty scary. We'll see what else they got. Looks like that might be it, and then it might be just the resource management. Okay, so if we can move Marshadow and get an energy on the Mewtwo, we do just win the game. So that is going to be our goal. Hearth is still in play, so we're going to be able to go Mewtwo, put a Welder on top, Cherish Ball, Dedenne change, and then go for it. So that's our game plan here. There is a Viridian Forest. I don't think we want that. So I think we can thin out the deck like this. I would grab Naganadel here. There's 1 fire in deck, 2 switch, 4 custom catcher, so we can draw a lot of potential cards. Grab the Dedenne. And then do I want to... Yeah, we only have 1 Welder index, so we definitely want a Mind Report here. Mind Report, throw this on top, and we should need to see a Psychic Energy here off of this Dedenne change, or a switch, or a fire also works, I believe, but so does the switch. We just switch into the Mewtwo, attach, and then hit them with the cross division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There's the concession from our opponent, and that's gonna do it for this short video on the Mewtwo deck. Played at Knoxville. Danny used to take down Knoxville itself. I used to get top 4. Caleb was floating somewhere in top 32, I think, with it as well. But not a bad showing for 3 people playing the list. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a like. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Check out deaddrawgaming.com. Use code Azul, and peace.